Hi, my name is Catalina Dudka. I'm owner and operator of Caramel Products. This company was started by my mom and dad in 1989-90. I came on board in 93 to help, and turns out I ended up owning the place. We make fruits or spreads and sauces from fruits and vegetables, all locally grown. It used to be our farm, but we sold our farm 3 years ago. So even though our kitchen is still located on the farm, we now commute to work. And we buy from all of the local growers. We started our business, actually my parents started our business, when they incorporated right away. They got legal advice first, and because they decided to start with food, or we do foods, we figured that incorporation would be an easier thing to handle, especially for insurance purposes, because you never know. They started, it was very small scale, all by hand. We did it all by hand until 2007. That's when we bought all the equipment that you maybe see a hint a little bit behind me. Unfortunately, we got hit hard by the recession. Well, 2007, we got a mortgage and bought all the stuff, built the buildings. 2008, lost 60% of our business. Well, that was fun because when I came into the business, I had no idea about any of those things. I had trained as a graphic designer, so I do all the labeling and all the label designs, all the brochures, all the websites, but I had no idea about business. I learned that literally by getting thrown in the deep end, where my mom says, here, you do that. And that included bookkeeping, and so I literally started learning accounting, learning how to read financial statements. From that, I took workshops through the Women's Enterprise, by the way. They had a wonderful guerrilla marketing workshop that I loved. I still have the book to this date, and I refer back to it. What else? Through the college, anything I could get my hands on, any book I could read on the subject. We talked about this, cost of goods. I know we might have a question about this later, but this is all part of that growth. I did learn that really good material the first fancy food show I went to. They had a workshop on specialty foods and pricing. Again, they gave you a really good manual, and we went with that. At that point, we already had our pricing, but we realized we actually did a good job with how we did our margins and things, but it was nicer. And now I've created my very own matrix on Excel that works beautifully. But that was very important. Now, strategic growth, we always knew we wanted to go with distributors because none of us are really good salespeople, and when you're working and we do all the cooking and everything, we don't have time. So we always tried to find the best distributors to work with us. And we also do wholesale to a lot of local stores and maybe a couple of back east to learn how to grow. And we made a lot of mistakes. We spent a lot of money on things that didn't work, and advertising in magazines or trade magazines, direct mailers and things, and it really did not work for us. I have now pared it down to demos. You need to know your manufacturer's suggested price. You actually should come up with your own suggested price for the retailers, and they can use that as a base to start their pricing. Not only that, you get to carry a lot of costs that the retailer and the distributor will push back on you, like advertising costs, demo costs. If you notice from what I said, all the financing we did ourselves. We actually, when we decided to expand, because our sales had steadily grown and the markets were growing, we actually applied for financing with the Business Development Bank of Canada. They said no, but we still wanted to grow our business, so we got a mortgage, and that mortgage we used to build the buildings, buy the equipment, do things like that, but it's also to market. This is the fun part, folks. This is how you know when things don't work properly. We actually went into a few trade shows, including the Fancy Food Trade Show, and I did some grocery showcase. Things like that, and I found I got zero return on investment on those things. I do have a retail store, which is the online store, and that's actually doing better than I expected. Even their Amazon affiliate is doing pretty good. I'm sending a few orders out every week, which is nice. Through this Small Scale Food Processors Association, we did receive the grant for the HACCP plan, which was amazing because I got to go and learn for a whole week of full day classes on how to create a HACCP plan. Brought that back, worked together. At the time, my sister was helping us out, so she worked together with me, and we put together probably a best comprehensive HACCP plan for this company. One of the best places I learned a lot was through, I became a volunteer at Community Futures Loans Committee. And I got to read a lot of business plans, and I got to make decisions with a lot of people who had more experience than I did, top accountants as well as business people, attorneys, all kinds of people. And I gleaned a lot from being in that. So that's, there wasn't a lot of money being given to things that I thought maybe should be given to. But again, there's a lot of business plans that weren't done very well, but that's another thing. With women, I find in business, we really cooperate with each other. I have had women who phone me for advice. I have no problem. Actually, I give advice to whoever phones me because, or calls me or meets with me and wants to know what they should do and how they should do it. But I found with women, there is no hesitation. If I need to help somebody, or they want to find out how I won't give you my recipes, granted. I'll let you know what venues, who you should talk to, where you can find the information, the best information, that sort of thing. And they are certainly great to give that back. And we cross-promote each other's products. Like if somebody's, when I do demos and I see somebody's doing cheese and crackers, my products go great with cheese and crackers, and I'll say, let's do it that way. Let's help each other out and do that. One of my distributors, actually, Canadian Artisan Foods, does that. They set up their own demo programs, and it works better for them because they're demoing 3 or 4 products at the same time, but they will do marriages of things. So I think they got that idea from women. So anyways, so that's what I mean. In the business, I never felt competitive against other women in the same industry. But I found men who were in the same industry were the opposite. It's either you or me in that store, not both of us. So that's the difference, I think. And and the problem is a lot of the financing, I know now a lot of the financing is done with a point system, if you will. It's not like you could go back in the old days. My mom keeps telling me, you go to the bank, you shake hands with the manager, and things are done. Now they're done. But I'm just wondering who put that point system together. Now, this is our experience with the Farm Credit Corporation. That's one of the places that you're supposed to be able to go to if you're a farm or value added, and we were both, to help you out financially. Well, we spoke to the reps a few times, and we always got the answer no. Why did we get no? We didn't make enough money. We didn't do the right products. My favorite thing is, though, their loans, as far as I know, and you better check this, are government insured or government secured. So if the person can't pay it for whatever horrible reason, the government returns the money to them. And so they have less chance of being unsuccessful or of losing money or going under than a regular bank. And yet they wouldn't help people like us. Actually, that's a very good point. I think that we could do a little more organizing with getting women in our side of business together to help each other out, to find mentoring relationships, or even not partner as in partner in business, but we both are equal, but in just different skills. Even though I have some high value skills that I'd love to help people with if they need it, and other people have high value skills I have absolutely no knowledge in how to do, and the exchange becomes that. It becomes that we exchange each other's skills for a period of time to get us through whatever knot in our business we run into. Breathe and smile. Anyways, the Small Scale Food Processors Association is my favorite association that we belong to. I think when I first started it was $75, now it's about $125 a year. The best money I ever spend, because there's so much knowledge and again, back skill sets available to me. Even if I don't participate as vociferously as some people do. I know I got their not the newsletter, but the email that comes to everybody, and I love reading them. Even if I don't have, if I have an answer to the question, I will participate. If I don't, then I learn from everybody else's. Even when it's not something that's really pertaining to my business, I find when I did workshops, when I mentioned before, I did workshops locally for IT, as well as some things that are, you would say, completely not something that Karamumel could necessarily use, but I would learn from their skills, from their marketing strategies to use for my business. So same here. The Small Scale Food Processors Association is one of the best resources that I have found. Through them, I find about exporting venues. I find about, well, the food safety is invaluable. The skills of other people, connecting with them. Actually connected with one of our distributors through the Small Scale Food Processors Association, so that was great because I put a call out. I mean, a distributor, and somebody came to us and asked. Their website has so many resources that you can look right there, or it takes you to places where you can find things very easily. Yeah, so it's my favorite place. I might cut back on other things, but I never cut back on my membership.